Imagine a weapon with the power to eliminate empires, tear apart the very fabric of the status quo, cut deeper than the sharpest blade that any man can forge, or teleport us to lands far beyond our imaginations. Sounds like a weapon straight out of a novel, right? But what if I told you that this weapon exists and it dwells within each and every single one of us? That weapon is our words. Words truly are the very essence of what it is to be human. They shape the past, dictate the present, and control the future. Those who say that words are weak, feeble, or meaningless have clearly never been privy to one of Hamlet's killer soliloquies, or met my brother, whose words are so carefully crafted and cutting that he can even make my parents question their own authority. You should especially see him when they try and take his phone before bed. Words truly are the very essence of what it is to be human. I often get asked, as I'm sure many of you do, the age-old question: if you could have a superpower, what would that be? I'm sure many of you in the room would love the power to fly, to be invisible, or to turn back the clocks. It's funny, but as a child and to this day, the only power I ever wanted was the ability to manipulate language to my every will. I wanted to be able to bend and control how people thought and functioned by communicating my ideas in the best way that I possibly could. While at first this may sound absurd, if you really think about it, people throughout history have been blessed with the powerful gift of language. Jesus Christ started a powerful world religion by using his ability of speaking to crowds and inspiring them. Adolf Hitler was one such person who wholly abused his power. He convinced an entire nation of his immoral views. And he even managed to commit perhaps the biggest atrocity our modern world has faced. All the while, he was being praised and loved by his people due to his ability of public speaking and charisma. Donald Trump may be the first president to rule the country from a jail cell because of his ability to rouse and inspire the American people. Similarly to these great orators, I have the ability to convince my English teacher that my essays are H1 standard. Trust me, if you knew Mr. Arak, you would know how impressive that is. Stories provide us in society a way to escape the pressures that face us. Words in society allow us to face the pressures that face us every day. Reading provides us with a feeling that stimulates our minds and invokes a sense of freedom and relief. I love being creative with my words, whether that be through poetry or stories, as they allow me to communicate with people's thoughts and minds. They allow me to literally alter the way that people think. And I love that. So now allow me to share with you a story. A story from my own life that I believe best encapsulates the idea of the power of words. About 3 years ago, my aunt died. It came as a shock to my family. And we were left feeling distraught and empty. My aunt was the light of my family, the bright spirit that guided people through the darkness. I'm sure many of you in this room have suffered similar losses. And if you have, you would know just how hard it is to express how you feel through words. When my aunt died, I attempted the impossible feat of writing a poem in her honor and memory. It was a horribly exposing thing to do. And with every word that I put down on that page, it left me feeling more and more vulnerable. Many tears, torn pages, and days later, and I was left with a draft, that I felt both quantified and immortalized, both my own feelings and the feelings of my immediate and extended families. I attempted to draw a comparison between an extinguishing candle and the bright, fulfilling, purpose-filled life that my aunt led. If I could offer one piece of advice to people in this room grieving a loss, it would be to get your ideas down onto a page. Although excruciatingly painful, it can feel empowering, and it can help us to come to terms and physically understand how we feel. When I finished writing my poem, I read it for my mum. And the following interaction is the first time that I fully understood the weight and the power that words could hold. I watched as my mum's eyes darted back and forth across the page. And I watched my mum, my strong, constantly happy mum, cry. It dawned on me at that moment that words have power far beyond what people believe them to have. And to me, that was captivatingly beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, the latent power of words is clear. They hold power far beyond what people believe them to hold. They cut and destroy people's very sense of self. They can convince us to do things we didn't even think possible, whether that be terrible or incredible. However, through the destruction that words hold, shines a light of the beauty that exists within them. Words can be so vulnerable and beautifully exposing. And they can help us to quantify the inevitable tragedies of life. Martin Luther King had a dream and started a movement that still exists in our society today. Winston Churchill said that we shall never surrender and brought down the Nazi empire. Neil Armstrong took just one small step, and in doing so, took a giant leap for mankind's exploration of our universe. Ladies and gentlemen, there exists in each of us a weapon so destructive, yet intoxicatingly beautiful. And always remember that tongue has no bones, but it has the power to break a heart or to heal it. Thank you.